video is not only gonna be a chit chat get ready with me, I also wanna show you guys some of the maintenance that I've been doing to maintain these braids. I haven't even done my edges. I'm literally only using 3 productos, and I kind of want to do that on camera while I answer some questions, while we talk, because I feel like there's so much that we have to talk about. There's so many updates. By the way, if you're wondering, this is synthetic hair, so I think that it's just a little bit more maintenance because of that. But I don't mind it, y'all. They did a really good job. So let's just put a little bit of mousse. By the way, don't be afraid to put the mousse every single day. But also, because I put a lot of mousse on my hair, like, I'm also not shying away from washing my hair while my hair is in braids. And I've also been using the Fenty Hair Edge Control Brush, you guys. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Fenty has an edge gel and an edge control brush. But I really like the braid gel from Mael. I feel like my edges be popping out. They just be popping out and doing their own thing. You guys, this is the best that I can give you guys. I am not your girl when it comes to doing your edges, but you know what? I tried, and that's all that matters. By the way, the light oil I'm gonna be putting towards the end once my makeup is done, because I don't want to get my hands greasy while I'm doing my makeup. But we have a couple of questions that you guys left, like I said, and the first one that I want to answer has to do with relocating to California. And Quirky Dollface asks, how to relocate to California? I want to move back after 10 years. I feel like there is no how to when it comes to relocating to any place. You kind of just do it. I think that I will say that if you're moving to California, you need to come with saved money, because it's not cheap to live here. And if I'm being completely honest, you should have at least 5 to 8K saved up to move to California and to do it comfortably. But I don't think that there is no how to. I mean, if you feel like you're ready to do it, you do it. Save up money and make sure you know where you're staying. And yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's anything else to it besides that, honestly. That's how I did it. Okay, there's like, is there 3 dating questions? I feel like, you know where I'm at in my life, and I'm gonna keep saying this, I am not looking for it, but I'm not opposed to it. Like, if I were to meet a nice man outside today and he was like, I wanna take you out to eat, I wouldn't say no to it. But am I actively looking to be in a relationship? No, I'm not pressed about it. And I feel like, don't feel pressured to date just because people in your life are telling you to do it, or just because, oh my gosh, you're a pretty girl, why are you single? Like, everything is not about a relationship. So I think when it comes to dating, that's where I'm at. Once I start dating, I can give you more topics and more pointers, but I haven't dated since last year. I took a break for a year, and yeah. Falling out with your best friend. You know what's so funny, okay? Because my best friend of 6 years, well, he was a guy. My best friend of 6 years and he actually, I don't want to say that we fell off, but he did get a girlfriend, and you know how that goes. I think some girls are just not comfortable. By the way, this is the Fenty Soft Lip Foundation. Some girls are just not comfortable with the idea of their man having a girl best friend. And so he actually stopped talking to me, and this was my best friend of 6 years, you guys. And when that happened when it first happened, it really did break my heart. But I think that now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that certain people are just in your life for seasons, that you have to be appreciative of what they contributed to your life. But if it's time to move on, it's time to move on. It's okay to grow apart. I also have to put myself in people's shoes. Like, if I were someone that was dating a guy and he were to tell me, this is my best friend, and she happens to be a girl and she's a pretty girl, I don't think I would have liked the idea of it too, you know? So I've never fallen off with a best friend, but I've grown apart, I guess you could say, because I guess we grew apart because he got into a relationship, and out of respect for his situation, he just had to cut ties with me. But you're gonna be okay. I think the one thing that I don't like is when people fall off with people and they think that there's beef, or they start like downplaying who they were for them in their life, or just spitting on their name. Let me tell you something. If you at some point in my life, look how the thing is getting in my thing. If you at some point in my life made me happy, contributed to my life in any way, they can never make me hate you. They could never make me hate you. I don't care how. It depends on how we fell off. But like most of the time it's for petty stuff, right? If you and me fall off and at some point you made me happy, I wish you the best. Thank you. But now it's time to move on. It's just time to move on. And that's just how I feel about that. I don't want to go on and on about that topic, but you guys have to understand that some people are going to be in your life for the long run, and then some people are just meant to be in your life for a season or seasons, show you love, show you stuff, help you grow, and then leave. Okay. Yeah, you guys, I put my hair in the middle part because I was like, it keeps getting in my face and that's kind of annoying, and I don't really like how my edges look, so we're gonna crop that out. But we're gonna keep getting ready and we're gonna keep answering these questions. I was talking about the question of making friends and friend breakups. I answered the friend breakups section. Making new friends. Okay, you know, it's so funny because this is actually a really popular question that I get since moving to LA. I feel like when it comes to making friends out here, I'm gonna be so honest with you, it takes a minute. It takes a little bit longer than I think people would expect it to be. I think that has been the only downside that I can say. Oh, and how expensive it is to live in LA. So like the two downsides of LA, the expenses, but then also this aspect of it, which is like building community, because it really does take a long time out here. And I think that when you do the career that I do, which is by yourself, that can at times, you can find yourself becoming impatient with that because you're already by yourself in this job. So you just want to kind of build community to not always feel that. So I think that has been like a little bit frustrating with living in LA, is that aspect of it. I have friends out here, but I don't feel like I have consistent friendships. And the one consistent friendship that I do have, she's leaving. She's leaving. So now I'm kind of stuck with like, okay, well then, dang, I thought I found my consistent friend out here and now she's leaving. But let me tell y'all, I'm actually taking a 23andMe and hopefully we got some distant cousins in California. You know, that part of the reason why I want to take a 23andMe is because I'm like, what if I have family here that I don't even know of? Like that would be very helpful because I definitely moved out here with no family. But especially for me who doesn't have family, who doesn't know that many people, the community that I build is going to be so detrimental to how I feel about California, how I go about my life here. Feeling doubtful and insufficient due to some of the lives you see on social media. Don't compare your life to others, because the reality is that your journey is yours and their journey is theirs. Can you imagine if God put us on this earth and we were all meant to do the same thing? How would this world function if we were just all doing the same thing and we're all here for the same purpose? So stay on the path that you're supposed to be on and understand that social media is a highlight reel. Now let me say something about that. Does that mean that people who go on social media and have happy lives are all lying? No. I hate when people say that social media is a lie, that this and that, because some people actually do lead fulfilling and happy lives that they share on socials for everybody else to see. That is a thing. Like, I hate when people are like, oh, it's fake, don't believe everything you see on social media from people, because they're probably not even happy behind closed doors. There are people who get on the internet who share happy lives who actually have happy lives, and I think that is okay. But you also have to understand that the walk of life that they're on is not going to be the same walk of life that you're on. And I hope that I'm not sounding mad aggressive with how I'm responding to that, but yeah, girl, like, your journey is yours. Pour into that. Focus on that. Do everything you gotta do every single day to be your highest self, to fulfill purpose, and that's all you can do. But you can't sit here and compare yourself to people whose journey will never be the same as yours. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. Someone said choosing yourself over pleasing others. Ooh, you know the one thing, you know, I feel like recently a lot of people are getting on social media talking about how they're people pleasers and things like that. I don't feel like I deal with that. I think I've had moments of people pleasing, but I don't think I'm a people pleaser. So I feel like it's a little hard to answer that question because I've had those moments, but I'm not completely that. I think the reality is that you gotta ask yourself, who are you living for? At the end of the day, who wakes up with you and who goes to sleep with you if you're not married and stuff like that. Because then some of y'all are probably gonna be like, oh, my husband, my boyfriend. But like at the end of the day, you are the only person that knows what you're going through, that knows what you gotta do, that has to pay the bills unless you're married and stuff like that. I'm talking for the single girls. I'm talking for the young single girls, okay? And you look young. You seem young. Your seems young. At the end of the day, you guys, you're the only person that is going to be responsible for yourself, right? Regardless of whether you're married, regardless of this and that, you're the person, that's you. If you were to put others over yourself, how do you plan on completely living your life? I want you to think about that for a little bit and answer it. If you were someone who was always worried about others and not yourself, how are you supposed to go on with life like that? How are you supposed to get anything done more than anything? So let's bake a little bit, and I want you to answer that question. Answer that question. Okay, let me bake a little bit more. Because while I'm doing this, I want you to think about that. Okay. That's what I want you to do. Alrighty, you thought about it? Okay, cool. You already know what the answer is. You can't. You can't. If you are constantly worried, and let me tell you something, I don't want to come on here and make it seem like it's not a good thing to put others before yourself from time to time. The most beautiful quality that someone can carry is being able to be selfless and being able to care about others, because it's not all about you. So I want to make sure that you, the message that I'm about to give you is not coming across as you should only worry about you and what you got going on. Before you can do things for others, before you can show up for other people, you have to know how to show up for yourself. So that's my response to that. You have to choose you before you choose others, because how can you even show up for other people if you can't show up for yourself? You'll never be able to do that the right way. You'll never be able to do that the right way. I probably should let this sit a little bit before I blend it in. Okay, so someone said moving on and knowing your worth. I love like a lot of these questions. I feel like moving on, and you know, I've been having this conversation a lot with myself recently, but I'm like, I don't know if it's because my frontal lobe is about to fully develop once I turn 25 in November. You know that once you turn 25, your frontal lobe fully develops. But this year alone, you guys, my perspective on so much has changed. And one of those shifts in perspectives has come from how to move on, how to let things go. And I think that I'm in a space right now where I'm like, if it doesn't bring me peace, if it doesn't help me in any way, I have no problem letting it go. And I think that that would be my response to anybody who's struggling with that is prioritize your peace. Prioritize your peace, and anything outside of that and anything that disturbs that doesn't deserve your attention. Because let me tell y'all something. At the end of the day, life is really short. I know that we hear it all the time, but life is really, really, really short. And you have to understand that, especially when you're a good person, you're gonna come across people that might try you. You're gonna come across people that might take advantage of you. You just might not come across the best people. And I think that people who have good hearts are a little bit more are a little bit more prone to experiencing those type of people. But if you do not prioritize your peace, you are going to overthink everything all the time. You're not going to be able to let things go. And I don't know about you, but I just am in a space right now where I don't want to be stressed out. I feel like that is the best way to move on. If it doesn't bring you peace, then you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. And to know your worth, girl, you gotta tell sometimes even lie to yourself. Even if you don't believe it, lie to yourself. You're that girl. You're that bitch. You're that bitch. You know what you bring to the table. What's it called? Even if you gotta write it down. This is what I'm good at. This is how I am as a person. You like, sometimes you gotta say it to yourself. You gotta say it to yourself until you believe it. Okay, someone said she wanted the topic to be on content creation, your lifestyle, and moving to LA. Ooh, I probably should have answered that one with like the relocation question. Okay, so the first one, content creation. A lot of people don't know about how I got into content creation. I got into content creation in college. I started off with just hair care content. And if you've been following me for a minute, I used to just do in-store videos. I used to barely show my face, fun fact, when I used to do content. And then that kind of shifted last year when I moved to LA. I was able to introduce lifestyle, and I was able to introduce just more content of you guys getting to know me outside of hair care. So I feel like when I think about what my page is, it's definitely a balance of like beauty, but also lifestyle, and you guys kind of like getting a little bit more insight on like who I am as a person in my life. But content creation is something that I've been doing now for 3 years. 2 years full time, 3 years all together. And it is the most rewarding job that I've ever had. And I've been working since I was 14. And I just love it. I love what I do. It was a pretty vague question. I guess I can answer it like that. The next part of the question is your lifestyle. I feel like I lead a very normal lifestyle. Like, I pay the bills. The bills are paid on time. The bills are paid on time. I don't know if I'm like obsessed with this makeup. I travel. I like to travel. I like to, you know, my cousin was like, I'm not gonna call you bougie, but like, you like nice things. I do like nice things. I like nice things, you know. I like splurging from time to time, but not like ODing with the splurges. And I just feel like I live a very blessed life, and a life where I can do a lot of things that I want. I don't go crazy with it, but yeah, I think I lead a pretty normal lifestyle, you guys. I also think that just because you got it doesn't mean that you got to spend it. So, you know, I try to be as financially smart as I can. And even if I do got it, I'm not balling out just because. So yeah. And then moving to LA. I kind of answered that with the friendship question, but moving to LA was the best decision I could have made. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I lived in the Bay Area for 8 years of my life. When I was 5, when we left New York, we moved to the Bay Area. It's here in California. We lived here for 8 years, and then I moved to Florida. And every single time I would talk about this, when people would ask me like, so what's like the difference between California and Florida, and which one do you like more? My response would always be like, I know that one day I'm gonna move back. I was like, one day I'm gonna move back to California. I didn't have a response on when, but it was gonna happen. So after college, I gave Florida a try for 1 more year. I was like, I'm gonna stay in Florida for 1 more year. My family is here. Let's see how I like it. And when I stayed for a year, I was like, yeah, no, it's time to leave. And initially I was gonna move to New York just because I have family there. I thought it made sense for my career. There's a lot going on for influencers in the space over there. But y'all already know, if you've been following me since my moving series, when we were when I was touring apartments in New York, I was like, it don't make no sense what I'm about to pay for what I'm about to get. So plan B was LA. I always knew I wanted to move to California, and LA was actually plan A before it was plan B. But when I really sat down and I thought about it at the time, I was like, I don't know if I feel fully comfortable moving to a state where I don't know anyone. And then B, I don't have family there. Like, I've always been raised around family. Like, so it just didn't click for me at first until I went to New York and I realized like, it's not gonna work out here. That I was like, okay, I think let's get back to plan A, which is moving to LA. You know what I get asked a lot is like, why California? Why? So I've never said this, and I don't even know if I like how my makeup looks, and that's what I'm looking at right now, but you know, we're gonna try our best. When I moved to LA, I kind of feel like I was looking for a change. I was in a space in my life where I was like, if I don't change my environment, I don't think I'm gonna grow as a person. I think I'm gonna stay stuck. And the reality is that Florida became my comfort zone. I was honest with myself about that. And I think in my head, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna make a move, where does it make sense to make a move? But also, where do I think that I'm going to be the happiest at? Love California. And when I thought about California, I'm like, LA makes sense for my career. So that's how I came down to it. I just wanted to change. I wanted something new. I wanted to grow. I wanted to challenge myself. And it's so funny because 2 of my cousins already have told me like, what you did is so, what did they say? It's so courageous, because not a lot of people would be willing to leave everything that they knew and move somewhere alone with no family, with no friends, and you did it. And when my first cousin told me that, I was like, okay, cool. And then when my second cousin told me that, I was like, I haven't even sat down and given myself the credit for the balls that it motherfreaking took to do what I did. And I don't think it hit me, honestly, up until this year. You'd think it would hit me when I first moved and I was really doing it like alone, because now I know a little bit more people now that I've been out here for almost a year. But it really has hit me this year. And I was like, not a lot of people will do what you did. And if you've done it so well, pat yourself on the back. Oh, I'm not the same girl. Am I where I want to be completely yet? Not at all. But I'm not the same person that I was. And if I wouldn't have left Florida, I don't think that I would have been able to even say that to you guys on camera. Someone said, how to deal with grief or death of a potential life partner. Oh, girl, I have never dealt with that type of grief of it being a partner, but I have dealt with grief in a parent. And the reality is that grieving is a never-ending journey. Hold up, let me do that liner. The reality is that when you lose someone as close as a parent or a sibling or a family member that you were very close to, your life is completely altered. You will never be the same person. Your life will never be the same. And when I lost my dad, you guys, I was 13. I started working when I was 14 to step up because my mom became literally the sole provider. And I think about that a lot. I'm like, I tell people that I started working at 14. People tell me that I'm mature all the time. And it's because I had to grow up fast. Because when my dad died, a lot of things changed in our lives. A lot more responsibilities were put onto me. I don't even know why I'm gonna get emotional. But when I think about the fact that at 14 I started working, I think that is the craziest thing ever. Because I don't think that any person should say that they have to start working that young to kind of help, but that was my situation. And I don't really think I started grieving until maybe a couple years ago, and he died 10 years ago now, or 11 years ago now. And I think it's because when he died, it kind of just became, okay, you got to step up and you got to make things happen and you got to help. So I don't know, I hope that makes sense. It's completely altering. Take time. When you have those days, allow yourself to feel. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. You can only do your best. And just know that even though it's hard to continue on life without that person, that you will get through it. And that it's also okay to not be okay. That there's gonna be days where you are, there's gonna be days where you aren't, and you just have to give yourself grace and take it day by day. And that really is my response to that. Because I feel like if we get too deep into it, I'm gonna get too emotional, and I don't like crying on camera. Okay. Someone said, what's the diet you've done to lose weight? You look good. You know, I was gonna do a video on this, but I was like, I kind of want to keep doing this a little bit more before I make a video. I noticed a quick weight loss kind of thing happened to me when I cut out added sugars from my diet. Do I completely avoid added sugars? I don't think that you can do that in everything, but I really cut down on eating things that have added sugar. If you look at the back of every single food item, and I guess I can show you an example, there's always going to be a section that says total sugars. And then there's always gonna be a section that says included added sugars. You always want that to be 0 grams, because those added sugars that a lot of these products and food items be having be fake sugar, not real, horrible sugar. I really cut that out of my diet. I think also training has helped me a lot. I got a trainer this year, and I really started stepping up my game with using machines and not just using the treadmill and the Stairmaster. Like, I'm actually using machines that are gonna help my arms, that are gonna help my legs, that are gonna help my stomach. So I think that exercising the right way has helped me lose a lot of weight. Trying to cut down on how much I eat out, and when I do eat out, I'm not trying to eat like these horrible foods. I kind of stick to like salads and chickens and stuff like that. Let me keep doing my makeup because I'm just like yapping. But I feel like that's been the biggest change, just becoming more active and really paying attention to what I'm putting in my body. I guess I'll make this one the last one. Someone said, first of all, I love your content. Also, your IG filming setup. I've been asked multiple times, do I use a professional camera? I hope that did not get on the lens. I've been asked multiple times, do I use a professional camera to record my videos on Instagram and TikTok? The answer is no. I literally just use my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I use a back camera and I have a lighting system. Your lighting, I can show you guys what my setup looks like. I have 2 lighting panels. I dim the lights. The light's like right there. I dim the lights so that it kind of creates like this effect of like balance. But then I also have blackout curtains because the key to having good quality for any type of content is controlling your lighting. So I put blackout curtains to make sure that like these panels and the natural lighting don't mix with each other so that it looks balanced and it looks very like high quality. That is it. Just those 2 panels, blackout curtains, dim the lighting a little bit to balance it out, and then the back camera. I don't do too much. These panels probably weren't even like over $200. I can link it down below if anyone wants it. And then the vanity I literally just use because I have to see what I look like on camera. So when I use my stand, where's my stand? I use this one right here. When I use this stand right here with my iPhone and I use the back camera, I'll put it in front of my vanity so that my vanity gives me a reflection of what I look like on the camera. And I know how to position myself, how to angle myself, and all that. But it's not too much, you guys. I don't do the most, and it works for me. A lot of people have told me this year alone that my quality has improved a lot, and it's because I think I've really prioritized just kind of learning what is gonna give me the best quality and kind of playing around with it. I feel like I really just have been playing around with a lot of like the tech side of this job and really wanting it to look clean and crisp. And that is it for today's Chit Chat Get Ready with me. The last thing that we gotta do. Oil our scalp. I didn't want to do that in the beginning because when you do your makeup, you guys, you're putting your hands in your face a lot, and I just did not want to put my hands in my face with oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and oil my scalp very lightly. I am washing my hair even though my hair is in braids because you still gotta wash your hair. I think people think that you put braids in and you just leave it like that. That's not the case. You're actually supposed to still wash it and maintain your hair under that. So yeah, we're gonna put a little bit of oil, and since I know that I'm probably gonna be oiling my scalp like twice a week, I'm not gonna put too much today. I'm just gonna put a little bit. Kind of put a little bit in the back probably because I didn't put nothing in the back. I'm not gonna go in with that much. Mira como lo dejé ahí. Okay, and then we're gonna massage that. Ooh, this feels so good on the scalp. Like that tingling sensation feels good. Okay, y'all, but I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Okay, I'm not even gonna say this time at the end of the video that I'm gonna start being consistent on YouTube, because every time I say that, I feel like I contradict myself. So we're not gonna say that. I'm just gonna show you guys. Let me know what kind of content y'all want to see. Do you guys want to see more vlogs? Do you guys want to see more day in the life? I feel like now that I really want to prioritize YouTube as a platform, I really want to switch it up. Like y'all are already getting like the tutorials and the vlog, like a little bit of the vlogs on TikTok and Instagram. Really just like nail vlogs and stuff like that. And the travel vlogs. But like I really want to switch it up on YouTube, and I'm like, how do I do that? Like, do I want to do more sit down chit chat videos because I don't really do that on Instagram and TikTok? Do I want to do more weekly vlogs showing you guys a little bit more insight on like what I do as a creator on a day-to-day? But yeah, I'm really excited. I say this all the time. I'm really excited to be back on YouTube. I'm really excited to be back on YouTube. I really enjoyed today's conversation. I feel like when it comes to advice, I love giving it. And when it comes to a girl chat video, I love filming it. So this was really fun. I love being able to just be back on YouTube and not really feel like I have a time limit. That's the best thing. But let me know in the comment section what y'all want to see. And like, comment, and subscribe if you liked today's video. Love you, and I just got lipstick on my freaking finger.